and we will be going over my team breakdown for DLC 2.5 against the Utah Mew. The Utah Mew sports a pretty strong team, and let's look into the potential sets they can bring. So, he can either bring an AV Gudra with just coverage moves. He has a lot of different physical attacking moves and special attacking moves. He can bring the Curse set, and he can also bring some like Life Orb, Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, that kind of set. So Gudra does a lot of things, but I feel like it's manageable. And then for Vaporeon, he's most definitely just going to be a wall cleric, and then he has flip turn for momentum. But he can also run an offensive set with Scald, Ice Beam, and Shadow Ball. And I think he has Synchronize, so I have to be careful. But I don't think Synchronize does well against my team, so it's okay. And then salazzle is the mon I'm most scared about. It's faster than my entire team. It can Toxic Stall, or it can just nasty plot and spam attacks, but it can also be a good choice scarf or choice specs mon. I also have to be careful of Dragon Dance just in case, but I don't expect him to go that deep. And then Miltank's mostly just going to be a Hazard's Cleric set, but it can also be a Curse set, so I have to be careful about that. Uh, so Gallade can be Choice Scarf, Choice Banded, or it can be some setup set with like Sword Stance or Bulk Up, so I have to be aware of that. It's also base 80 speed, and then Weezing can set up Toxic Spikes and just wall my team out. It's also has Levitate, so only Psychic type moves hit it pretty hard, so that's a pretty general Weezing, so I have to prepare for that. And then Licky Licky can be a Curse set. It can also be a Cleric. It has Sword Stance and Amnesia, so I have to be careful of that. And Own Tempo, so I can't really intimidate with my Arcanine, so I have to be careful there. And or he can have Oblivious and I can't taunt it, which is pretty sad. Gorgeist is actually a really good mon. I don't expect him to bring it, but if he does, it'd be pretty cool. He has Frisk for items, so, like item scouting, and then he has a lot of different coverage moves. So I don't expect Gorgeist, so I won't really prep for it. But just in case, I have Arcanine anyway, uh, so Wigglytuff can counter my Intimidate Arcanine. It has Stealth Rocks, and it can run a Curse set. Shiinotic is something I actually expect him to bring. It has Spore, Strength Sap, and it's just a nuisance defensively. Uh, Behemoth can just Trick Room and start spamming attacks, or it can be some Calm Mind Rest set. And then Ludicolo gets Sword Stance, but also has a lot of coverage, and I think has Leech Seed too, so I have to be careful there. And yeah, so these are potential sets my opponents can bring, and to prepare for that, I brought a team of Galvantula, Bronzong, Aromatisse, Luxray, Arcanine, and Galarian Mr. Mime. Uh, I left out Sandaconda because Vaporeon does really well against it, Goodra does really well against it. I feel like Miltank's faster, Gallade can set up over it, and then Sandaconda doesn't hit Weezing because of Levitate, so I left that off. Um, I left Milotic off because it doesn't do that well against Goodra. It's neutral against Vaporeon, and salazzle can't set up over if it has Pastel Berry, and also Gallade does pretty well against it, and then Weezing is like neutral, so I didn't feel like Milotic would be really good. Uh, Lurantis I actually wanted to bring, but then salazzle and Weezing are just too much, and it's also really slow. So yeah, Hitmonchan I actually originally had on the team for Rapid Spin, but then I realized that I could replace it with something better. Luxray is really strong against this team. Actually, I'm gonna bring it, and then Type Null just didn't fit my like build I wanted to bring, and then Sliggoo. As much as I wanted to do the Sliggoo versus Goodra, I wasn't gonna do that. But I feel like if I brought a Sliggoo set, I could have actually won with it. But yeah, it's whatever. So first of all, he has no hazard removal. Like you look through his team right here, no hazard removal at all. Like Weezing doesn't get defog, and then nowhere there's no rapid spin or defog. So I want to take advantage of sticky webs and stealth rock. So that's why I have choice scarf Galvantula to outspeed the Salazzle, and then Volt Switch, Thunder, Bug Buzz. It just hits his team pretty well. And actually, Scarf Thunder late game actually has a chance to sweep him, so I just have to weaken his team for that. And then Bronzong is just Stealth Rocks with Heat Proof, so I can take on Salazzle. And then if he goes like Flamethrower, it does like 20%. Let's see. And yeah, and I had Toxic, just the Toxic stall out as my opponent. And then Aromatisse is designed to actually beat Salazzle without like him realizing that Aromatisse actually beats Salazzle. So with Kebia Berry, I can set up Calm Mind, take a hit, And then I take another hit and then psychic one-shots because my Calm Mind. Luxray just hits his entire team super, super hard. Like, you look through his team, Goodra has a really high chance of getting one shot by Play Rough. Vaporeon gets one shot by Electric Move. Facade for Salazzle. Miltank takes like 60-70%. Gallade gets one shot, and because Gallade doesn't have that good defense. Weezing gets two shot. Licky Licky takes way too much. Gourgeist takes like 80-90%. Wigglytuff, same thing. Shiinotic, I think, gets one shot by Ice Fang. Wild Charge is a lot to Beheeyem. And then Ludicolo takes like 60-70% from Facade. So Luxray's, and also I made enough speed on Luxray, so after Sticky Webs it outspeeds an entire team. And then my Arcanine set here is just Citrus Berry with Morning Sun, Flare, Blitz, Will-O-Wisp, and Roar. Roar is to roar out any setup mons, but also this thing can just roar out Vaporeon, which Vaporeon's a nuisance against my team. Will-O-Wisp, and it's also faster than Gallade, so I can just burn the Gallade. Flare Blitz is just for general coverage. It actually does decent damage. It does like 70% to Gallade with no investment, so yeah. Mr. Mime Galar is my hazard remover, but also it's decent. It's faster than Gallade, so it's faster than everything other than Salazzle. Under Sticky Webs, it's faster than his entire team. And then after Nasty Plot, I just destroy his team. Like if I get like 50% off on Goodra, I literally can sweep his entire team. Like if I get 50% off on Goodra and like 20-30% off on everything else, and I get a Nasty Plot up with this, which isn't that hard, I just sweep his entire team. So yeah, that's my strategy. So he could go a Salazzle offensive route, and for that I have my speedy Galvantula, I have Sticky Webs, and I have the wall breaking potential of Luxray. But if he goes a more defensive route, I have to slow play with Aromatisse, Wish Passing, Heal Belling, and Arcanine just roaring out my opponents until I have a chance. So we'll see what route he goes, but I think no matter what he goes, I think we have a good chance at winning this, and we'll see what happens. So stay tuned for the battle.